Alrighty, hi everybody. Happy Saturday. It's a nice fall day outside, and what else can you think of doing after a run is to do a video for YouTube. So let's get started. I am going to be talking about creating presentations with Gemini. And so what happened was about a week or so ago, Google announced that you can now create slide decks or presentations using Gemini, and it actually works pretty well. So it creates the slides using the Canvas feature. And so what I did was I created a presentation using Google Gemini, and I'm going to show you that presentation. And then at the end, I'll try to create another one, but I'll edit it so you don't have to go through the pain of waiting for it, because it does take a few minutes every time. All right, so let's get started. So what I did was I went to Gemini and I asked it a simple, please create a slideshow using this information. And I did select Canvas when I did it. I uploaded a document, so I wanted it to use just the information I wanted it to work on. So that document is a Google Doc, and here it is right here. And so if you look at it, it's not very long, but what I did was I created a kind of a script or a guideline for a video that I created about AI oopsies. And so I used 3 stories: Will Smith video, a White Castle charging $15,000 for a burger, and Deloitte being accused of using AI in a report and charging a lot of money. I think that was to Australia. All right, so those were the stories I wanted to use, and so I wrote a few words about each one on how I wanted to talk about the key points, and then I have a discussion point down here. So that's all I gave it, and I submitted it, and it generated a presentation. Let me show you what it originally generated. This was the original generation, and so it's not bad. First draft, better than what I would do by myself. And so you see it's black and white, not a lot, some pictures. Font might be a little bit too small for my eyes. Tried to use a little bit of variety. This one I thought was a little bit of a mistake that needed to be corrected. And so you go down and even go to questions, and then there's a source page. And so I have not checked these links, but we'll do that at the end. So that was the first draft. And then so as I progressed, I was like, I wonder what it can do. And so I started asking it questions. And those questions included, can you increase the font size? So it did a nice job trying to increase the font size. Not perfect. I could have given it a font size parameter. And then I also said, hey, slide 8 doesn't look so good. So let's look at slide 8. That was the one that I thought was a little bit of a mistake. So it corrected that. And so now it's not slide 8 in here anymore, but let me see what I can do. Now it did the full image, made it look a little bit different. I'm not sure it's great, but it was better than what it did. So I just kind of left that one alone. And it said it did it. And then I said, hey, everywhere where the word AI or the letters AI is used, please make it red. And so it did. And so if you go through this presentation, it's red and it's bolded. So that's what I asked for: AI, bold, and red. And then it told me what it did and how it did it. So it used CSS. And then on slide 3, please make the bulleted font size 25. And again, this is not slide 3 anymore. So if I go to the original, slide 3 was this. And let me see if let me start from scratch. So it's probably this one. It might be this one. So it's a little bit bigger. And so right now I'm still in Canvas on this one. All right, so we did that. And then what else did we do? Finally, can you add a footer to the slides for each slide that indicates slides created by Google Gemini? And can you also add a small image of an AI robot head in the top right corner? So it said it did it. So if you go right down here, slides created by Google Gemini, you get a little robot up here. And so I'll give you a little heads up on this one. Originally when it did it, it was black and white. And as I kept asking questions, it actually changed it. So somewhere during some of my requests, the robot head, AI head stayed there, but actually changed it to a color image. I actually like the black and white one too. And so like on this one, if I really wanted to change it, I could probably ask it to change it. But you can see it was pretty consistent with what it did. And so that was pretty cool. And it did it, and it said, now can you list all the changes we made in this chat for me so far? And it did. So it listed a log and said initial creation, typography update, slide 8 layout rebuild, global text styling, special typography update on slide 3, persistent footer added, persistent header icon added. And these are the changes primarily focused on typography, the layout refinement, branding, etc. And then I asked it, so what other things can you do that I did not think about to ask? And so it told me, it said you could add slide numbers, you could ask me that, include an agenda or a table of contents, enhance accessibility, which is review color contrast, especially for red bold text, which I did, ensure titles, content follow clear hierarchy. That's important. And so try to do your best to remember about accessibility. It's amazing how when you start focusing on that, you really learn that a lot of the things that you think are cool in presentations really hinder or create roadblocks for people who have maybe color blindness, or they can't see at all, or they have vision problems, I should say. And so this kind of stuff really, when you consider it, really helps. And so the school that I work at is doing a good job trying to educate me and my coworkers on doing things better for accessibility. So shout out to my school. Add subtle transition effects, so you can use CSS transitions on elements when they're displayed. I didn't really ask for any transition effects or animations. And create a unique closing, so you can replace the general question answer slide with more engaging call to action. And so those are things you can do. And then it asks, would you like to try adding of these, starting with slide numbers and an agenda slide? And I said, sure. And so it did. And so now you see the slide numbers. And if I go back to slide 2, now I have an agenda. And so those are the things that I asked. And let's see, and I think that was pretty much all that I asked of it, and it did. And so what did I do then? I exported it. So I hit export to slides, and now it's doing that. And while I did that, I actually downloaded it. So you can download it as a PDF. So if you're one of these people who over the years have learned that sometimes PowerPoint doesn't work, or even Canvas, the slide deck Canvas one, these are things that you might have to consider sometimes. So here's my presentation. It uploaded it, created a link to Google Slides, and it did everything that it should. Everything looks the same. Let's see, we got that. This is a slide it added. And let's see, what's your next step? So it did some things. How will you apply? And then we have this. And this is the part that I like to kind of focus on. So it said that this image came from freepik.com. And here is the link. So this is always one of the interesting things about AI. Let's see if that image is there. All right, so citation 1, good. Oops, where'd I go? There you go. Now the second image is from Skywork AI. And so it's not hard to do this and do a check. And so we're going to go right here. I'm going to paste it. So far so good. And whoops, I don't know why I can't keep track of this. And let's do 2 more because that's what we got. And so the top one is the actual link. The bottom one is the main source or the domain. Oh, love it so far. So one more. Come on, Google, you're going to do it good. So let's do one more. This one, kind of looks a little suspect because it says examples.com. But let's keep our fingers crossed. And there you go. So it did a nice job at ensuring that the image sources that it cited were accurate. And it did a nice job trying to cover some of the copyright stuff. Now, what else can we do? So let me look at my stuff real quick, make sure I hadn't forgotten anything. So I actually exported a few of them. And then, so I think one of the ones that we did was I asked it to download the PDF and I forgot to check. So let me do that again. That's the easiest way to do it. So let me re-download because I'm too lazy to look in my download folder. Let's see how long it takes. So it's right down here. I'll tell you when it's done. Maybe. And I said, let me go through my slides one more time. Oh, there you go. So it's going to let me download it. So I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to open it. And now I have a PDF of it. So the PDF is a little bit wider, which is okay by me. And I like to download PDFs. I've been doing PowerPoint for a gazillion years. And so what we used to do way back in the day is every time we did a PowerPoint presentation, when we created one and we had to present or share, make sure that we had everyone's back, we created a backup with a PDF in case something happened to Microsoft or PowerPoint or the computer, so it wouldn't open PowerPoint. And it actually became pretty handy dandy on a few occasions. So it's definitely not a high risk situation, but it definitely helped me over the years at one of my jobs where all we did was create presentations. And back in the day, they were pretty stressful. All right, so it works pretty good. And now one other thing that I was going to do. So I was going to try to create one more. And so now we're going to go through it. So I'm actually going to, let's see, I'm going to add the same one. So I'm going to do the same presentation. And then I am going to choose my tool, which is Canvas. And I am going to add some of the stuff that we did. So I'm going to say, please create a slide deck of this script. Please use red bold font on any words, whoops, or on words, sorry, AI. Please use 25-point font on all bulleted slides. Please add numbers to the slides. A footer that states Google Gemini created this work of art. What else did we do? Please use a light yellow background and please create an image and place it in the bottom right corner. That image should be a representation of Google Gemini AI. And so why I do that is because sometimes when you ask it to use the logo, it really doesn't do that. So everything is good. I am going to I'm going to go ahead and create it. It usually takes a while, so I may cut this part out. So I'll be quiet for a little bit and see how long it takes, but I may edit this part out until it gets to the actual presentation. Alrighty, so we are good to go. I see one little mistake, but let's see what happens. And so we have our AI presentation. So it looks like it did some of the stuff. It did put down Google Gemini. It didn't, yeah, I guess it did, but there's a broken link here. So let's see what we got. Let's go through this real quick. We're all early adopters. Recent YouTube video. So it's talking about case study, service and automation. So it did a totally different type of presentation. It's what does this teach us? Here's the logo that it created. And so let's go back and see if it loads everywhere, see if it just was slide 1. So slide 2 didn't really work. So let me say, hey, the image on slide 1 is not showing. It appears to be a broken link. That image is appearing on the other slides. Can you review? Let's see what it does. So this one didn't have any pictures. So that's interesting. But so same script, kind of the same feel, but not the same exact presentation. So it's like giving 2 students or 2 coworkers an assignment to do a presentation, and you get 2 nice ones, but maybe they're not the same thing. And again, if this takes too long, I will but edit. So now it's saying that's a great catch. You're right. It looks like the image source on slide 1 was inadvertently truncated or corrupted, while the subsequent slides somehow retained through the image data displayed correctly. Now the other thing I noticed while we're doing this is it did not do the sources. All right, so now we have a not so great image on all of them. So it has a placeholder for maximum reliability across all slides. So let me ask it. So tried to fix it by saying, hey, I'll just put a placeholder, you put your own image. So let me try one more time. Please use an image instead placeholder. I'll actually say something else. Please change it to a cartoon image of a hot dog. There you go. Let's see. All right, so anyway, so the one thing I did notice is when you do this and you want to go in here and look at things, you can't when it's creating stuff. So, and then the other thing is I want to look at something up here once it recreates it. And again, one more time, if it takes too long, I will cut this a little bit, so I'll edit it and speed it up. All right, we have our little hot dog, so let's see if it's everywhere. It sure is. And you know what's really cool? And I know people who do presentations focus on this sometimes, is that everything is in the same spot. So when you advance to the next slide, like this footer, this icon page number doesn't distract you by changing. There you go. So it did do the image sources. It just needed to have a good one to do. So this one presentation, pretty good. I like my first version better, so I will keep that. And I will tell you to have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Give it a try. See you later. Bye-bye.